Yo, is the gig finally up for Rick Ross, the biggest boss of them all? According to 1111, they put together a video highlighting certain things about Rick Ross. And I find it to be accurate, and I wanted to do a reaction to it. So let's get into it, and you let me know what you think.
Whether it's getting jumped for dissing his enemy Drake, then ducking away like a little girl, to having to beg his fans to buy concert tickets with 50% off deals, or then, most recently, spotted under his hoodie here while flying commercial like the rest of us, despite allegedly owning a jet, this raises the question, is Rick Ross actually going broke? Well, as we're about to see, the truth is, Rick Ross just lost something way more significant.
For the ones who want to know where my jet at, I obviously didn't get the memo. It's being updated with Starlink. You know what Starlink is? Yeah, that's the $500,000 Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's where my jet at. And I chose to fly commercial to Colombia to go party with Trick Daddy. That hoodie was low. Rose did it big. And y'all better stop.
Well, my first question would be, why couldn't you took first class? Even if if the jet is down, right, and it's getting $500,000 worth of internet put in it, or whatever they claim, Starlink, whatever. Why not book a first class flight and not commercial? That's the cheap. See, that's what make people think individuals be broke, because if you got all this money, why not? And if you got all this money, why not just took a private jet real quick? Hey, but who knows? Let's get back into it.
About what rich niggas doing.
Claiming that his private jet is being updated with $500,000 Wi-Fi, which is the reason he went viral. However, in addition to giving these Drake lyrics on Iceman a whole new meaning,
if I'm lying, I'm flying economy, I bet I know who I see.
Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with flying economy, and millions of humans do it every day. Yet, the problem rises when you're Rick Ross and you spent the past decade flexing your money all over the internet. But, before we dive into more evidence about his jet that I found, to answer whether he's telling the truth or not, first we need to understand one key detail. Rick Ross's entire career has been built on a lie. Prior to his life-changing record deal with one of the best rappers in history, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, aka William Roberts II, right here number 61, was a standout football player at Albany State University.
To make all day, at that point, you had to be a
some stunners out here.
A top football player in the country.
Yeah. So who's all recruiting you?
Everybody.
Choosing to attend this HBCU on scholarship, although other rappers such as Blueface, for example, also played college football before they blew up, no other rapper in history, though, has ever dared to do what Rick Ross did next. And still to this day, if you ask about the years from 1995 to 1997, it will tell you a different story every single time.
Let me ask you a question. Did you know Rick while he was working in law enforcement?
He was a correction officer.
So we're clear he was a correctional officer?
Yes, he was.
Recently accused you of working as a prison guard.
Hey, Rick Ross right here in this shot right here, looking real regular, ain't he? The big boss. See, that's the thing to me, like, especially with these rappers, man. You got to start somewhere, and you wasn't always rich, bro. Come on, Rick Ross. Yo, he makes some good music, but clown behavior. That's just my opinion, though. Let's get back into it.
One point, Rick, is there any truth to that?
No, that's not true. But that's disappointing to hear that he said that. He said that?
That's what the question said, yeah.
That's crazy. It's not true, man, but, dog a sucker, and he mad that, I done came out of nowhere and just, took over the streets like that, you know what I mean? So,
with the help of another longtime enemy, 50 Cent, and this interview he did with Ross's ex-girlfriend, while 50 wasn't first to break this news, he definitely was the one who hammered it home. As, despite Rick Ross's endless denials, back in 2008, word officially spilled that the biggest boss had surprisingly used to work inside of a Florida prison as a corrections officer. In fact, it was this specific photo that leaked onto the internet, showing a young 19-year-old William Roberts dressed and smiling in uniform. If you ask today about his former job...
By the way, too, you worked, I don't know if you want to talk about it all, because were you a correctional officer at one point?
I was, yeah.
So going all the way back, when was that? How long ago?
Maybe when I was 20.
20 years old?
Yeah. I didn't really get to make it to the prison, because you got to go through training and all that, and I didn't last long. I may have lasted 4 months.
Right.
Before they said,
Yeah.
I was a little tardy.
This time, at least accepting his past, still saying he was constantly tardy and only lasted 4 months. However, as we can see, Department records confirm a much different story, revealing that the famous rapper did indeed used to work as a CO in Miami-Dade County, but actually for a total of 18 months and even had perfect attendance. To be precise, Ross was hired in December of 1995 and then resigned in 97 with an exit salary of roughly $26,000 a year.
Come on, man. What are we doing here, Ross? I remember that. I remember when that whole story broke out. You know what I'm saying? I remember that like yesterday. Man, he denied it, and denied it. And when he started finally admitting it, as you can see, like in the clip, still lying about it though. Trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, I did it, but you know, it wasn't nothing. I was always late and yada yada. And come to find out, you was a stand-up student, bruh. Come on, man. Let's get back into it.
We'll break down more in a sec. Drake has made sure to constantly remind Officer Ricky of his old occupation. But, on the flip side, to be honest, for most rappers, a scandal like this coming to light would have ended everything. Like right at the moment that picture hits TMZ. Not to mention, if you're also a rapper who builds your entire brand on being this kingpin street boss, which is exactly the route Rick Ross took next. After deciding to leave his officer days behind, it was in 2006 when, as he says, in about an hour on some good kush, Ross would lay down his breakout debut single, Hustlin', and combined with then his first record deal with Jay-Z at age 29. From here, the floodgates shot open.
I'm living life in this fast lane. I love it too much, so I gotta stay speeding. Morning glory. What it is, Monday morning? Yeah. What we doing today? How we turning up? What new money we talking about?
With his debut album going #1, an extremely impressive feat for a new artist, while his larger-than-life boss-like persona turned synonymous with this brand overnight, the beard, the glasses, the cars, the Miami mansion, it all worked almost too well. Because as Rose had successfully built himself into the character we all knew, nobody stopped to ask the question, where did Rick Ross really come from? And as it turns out, even his name comes with controversy.
Have you ever seen anybody confront Rick Ross about you?
Not in person, no. Anytime I'm around, he disappears.
Like, hey, why are you running around with this dude's name when this dude's out of jail now?
Well, you know, these guys, like we talked about, when you got some money, they don't care if you beat, making them lick tampons, you know, everybody with you.
This right here is Freeway Ricky Ross, an actual famous drug lord and way more of a real-life mafia boss. And according to Freeway Ricky Ross, his name was stolen without permission, claiming that the Miami rapper stole both his name as well as his personal image for clout, even filing a copyright lawsuit against him in 2010. Yet, despite all this controversy that surrounded his career, at least at first, Ross's music was hard enough for fans to look past it. Well, that was except for DMX, who had this to say about the fellow rapper.
If I had to compare the two, I'd say Rick Ross was more like Biggie, Jeezy was more like Pac.
Rick Ross looks more like Biggie.
Rick Ross got lyrics, though.
Well, I guess. Real talk. I'm just
So who impresses DMX right now? Anybody?
I'm surprised you don't like Ross lyrically, man. Ross be
He's all right, man. He just talk about eating and you know, how much can it eat? How much weed can you smoke? Huh? Like, all right, you got a Maybach, you got the Aston Martin. Okay, good for you.
While DMX was clear.
Hey, DMX did not play about certain individuals, man. He told the truth about them. And he right, though, because even right now to this day, man, to this very moment, Rick Ross pretty much is just a big bragger to me, you know. He's rightfully so done did some great music. I cannot take that away from that brother. He has done some great music, for real. But, come on, man. Like, clown behavior is still clown behavior. Let's get back into it.
Not a fan, plenty of us still were. In fact, in addition to launching his own record label, Maybach Music Group,
Maybach Music.
Rick Ross's second, third, fifth, and sixth albums would also go on to top the Billboard charts, with his fourth album barely missing at #2 behind Eminem. However, considering such a dominant run, this then begs the question, where did everything go wrong for Rick Ross? Did his music really fall off that bad? Like honestly a lot of events in hip-hop today, the answer traces us back to Drake. The part I love most is "They need me more than they hate me," rapped Drake on 5 a.m. in Toronto. Lyrics that were about to prove 100% true. But believe it or not, before Drake was clowning Rick Ross online and laughing at every post of his embarrassing downfall, The truth is, Drake is one of the biggest reasons Ross's image grew so powerful in the first place.
I'm just asking you, Rose, what is your true relationship with Drake?
Nah, the love is genuine, and it's been like that for close to a decade now, since he came in the game. You know what I'm saying? When Drake was just getting on the team, being in Miami, needed a record, I moved for him the same way I moved for Weezy.
Ross has just always been one of my favorite rappers ever.
Once calling Ross one of his favorite rappers, today that respect is totally shattered. And now Drake slowly treats Rick Ross like a comedic punchline. But again, this hasn't always been the case, because for over 15 years together, Drake and Rose weren't two rappers who traded features. They were one of the most reliable duos in the game. Their styles complemented each other perfect, and besides early hits like Aston Martin Music and Stay Schemin', plus classic anthems together with DJ Khaled, who actually just covered his split with Drake in my last video. But as we can read, Rick Ross has had one song hit 1 billion streams on Spotify over his career. His 2019 collab next to Drake, Money in the Grave, with plenty more collabs filling up his top 10. Fans love their chemistry so much that there was talk of possibly even releasing a new joint album, titled YOLO, which has long been rumored throughout the years.
I gotta take.
Which is confusing to me. Like, if your biggest hits besides Hustling came with Drake and you start dissing them, something internally went wrong between that relationship or that friendship, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to be something that happened internally for him, not unless Rick Ross just not loyal to anybody. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it. But let's continue though.
Just to the streets. One question for the culture.
What up?
Are we gonna get a Drake Rick Ross album?
We had that conversation.
Okay.
And it's most definitely under serious consideration.
Yes.
Real talk.
With Drake no stranger to collab albums, and one with Rick Ross would have made a lot of sense. As of this video, that album is dead. And especially when we consider the alternative, which was Ross instead linking up with Meek Mill for a joint project in 2023.
Grace, we back. You dig?
Hold on, how long has this been in the works, man?
I'm gonna be honest, this just was a quick vibe, maybe 2.5 months, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2.5 months.
Now, do you guys care about album sales anymore?
Of course. This point? As a businessman, you do. That's like niggas selling Jordans.
Saying that their album was just a quick little vibe, in my opinion, you can definitely tell. Now, 10 years ago, a Rick Ross and Meek Mill project would have been another easy #1. Yet, despite also voicing his emphasis on album sales, as one fan jokes, too good to be true and instead goes certified paper plate, selling by far the lowest numbers of Ross's career and only reaching 23 on the charts. So, with this in mind, after this flop would have been the perfect time to link back up with Drizzy, the most streamed rapper on earth for 11 years straight. However, due to the unexpected events which followed, Drake and Rick Ross will never work together again, leaving Ross's rap career stranded on its last leg. Although the year of 2024 was filled with surprises that shook the industry forever, for Rick Ross, meanwhile, he actually brought in the year by revealing this.
Like one of your favorite songs with Drake?
Stay Scheming, I'm gonna say Stay Scheming.
Legendary song right there. Yeah, you have
Drake,
to put that there.
Drake came out. He came out to us. He came out in the streets. He came to us. When we put that record together, it was one of those vibes.
Deciding to stream.
I ain't gonna front on Drake. Like, as far as his past music go, for me personally, like, I think I love a lot more of the classic Drake than I do the newer Drake. You know, the newer Drake just, it's not for me personally. But I say that to say Drake really did help a lot of people. He really did come across a lot of albums and songs and made those songs hot to death. So I can't take that away from Drake, even though he be in clown behavior as well. But let's get back into
with
it.
Miami neighbor Aiden Ross, and once more showing love to his brother Drake. Less than 3 months later, though, was when the relationship was ripped to shreds. In March of 2024, Future and Metro Boomin teamed up to release We Don't Trust You, and like you guys remember, enlisted the help of Kendrick Lamar to diss Drake, in turn sparking hip-hop's biggest beef. However, featured just 7 songs later on this new album is Rick Ross, on track 13, Everyday Hustle. Which, when you consider their close friendship that we just covered, this was certainly odd to see. But little did we know, this was only the start.
Nigga, it's just big me, nigga.
Combined with this post-bumping Kendrick's diss, it was at this point when Rick Ross decided to jump on the hate train entirely, and make his stance for Drake very clear, unfollowing Champagne Poppy on Instagram. And yo, real quick, speaking of Instagram, here's my page if you guys want to drop me a follow and stay up to date with new videos. But the next month in April, we were greeted with Drake's response, and in addition to firing back at the flurry of shots, Drake's second verse on Push-Ups begins like this.
That's copyright purposes.
Pointing out how Rick Ross is in fact 50 years old, and how every song he's ever landed in the Billboard Top 10, I'm on One, Money in the Grave, and Lemon Pepper Freestyle do indeed all feature Drake, but it's this first part we need to zoom back in on. Cuffing Ross's girl is seriously a clever double entendre, because along with this girl named Tia Kemp, who dated Rick Ross from 2003 to 2007 and is the mother of his 21-year-old son, and was the one who made this diabolical statement on a podcast.
Well, I said, would you f Drake? Being a hoe is when they
I would.
I
I let them knock the Mario coins out of me. I would. And it's good.
Her teeth really blows me. I'm almost sure she probably got the fake Jones. But dang, man. I'll just be wondering how they Rick, but you know what, man? I can't even question how did you mess with something like that, because we all done mess with something and we be like, man, especially if we had kids bound. Not no slide at nobody or nothing. You know, that's not a shot at nobody, but that's just in his scenario. Like, dang, Rick, come on, man. That girl put you on Front Street in so many ways, bruh. Let's get back into it, though.
Yasky crossed the room, bitch.
Straight up admitting that she would let Drake knock the Mario coins out of her, which I guarantee had to lead to a super long week in the locker room for their son, who is a college football player himself. But jokes aside, combined with Drake calling Tia Kemp his GOAT after she commented on his picture, Drake's diss on push-ups could also be in reference to Rose's other ex-girl, Christina Mackey. And for this one, right after Ross had unfollowed Drake on Instagram, the very next day then came this post, showing off her special VIP tickets to Drake's tour and front row seats for the sold-out show. Immediately following Drake's first diss, Rick Ross wasted zero time, deciding to hop in the studio and record his own diss track aimed at his former brother, titled Champagne Moments, and filming this music video too. Throughout his verse, Ross would bring up the classic Drake uses ghostwriters argument. Before then, in the outro, Ross would sample Drake's speech on stage.
By the way, I got a lot of respect for a lot of rappers, but I got one guy. He's my favorite person to rap with on any song. His name is Rick Ross. We were giving him...
Closing with another allegation that Drake had an operation to make his nose smaller, followed by some more details on his recent actions. I unfollowed you because you sent a mother cease and desist to French Montana. You sent the police and hated on my dog project, Ross claims. That wasn't the same white boy that I had seen when we were making them early records. Now, this alleged cease and desist in question still remains unclear. However, what's even more confusing is that if you ask French Montana, it's very obvious that he is still cool with Drake. And even Rick Ross knows this too.
Listen to me.
So love.
Montana done came to me and we done had conversations, nigga. Listen, we ain't on no I'm not on no disrespectful. Montana real. Ricky Ross, you know me. You know I love to be disrespectful. That's what I am.
You can hear it in his voice. He's dusted right now. Probably smoking and drinking. You can just hear the slurring in him though. But yeah, man. This guy's a real live character. For real though. For real.
But my nigga, listen, it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than rap, homie. This is the first time I said this, man. Take a with you the long way.
Stating that his problems are still, quote, deeper than rap when it comes to Drake, here's when the next disses started flying. At Champagne Poppy, whose nose, typed Ross on Instagram, he really had his whole body altered. Nose remixed, abs edited. Obs, the internet is saying that you got a nose job, but you look the same to me in the kitchen today, reads this text message from Drake's mom. It's coming from Rick Ross, the guy I did songs with. He's gone loopy, he hasn't eaten in days, and it's turning him angry and racist. He is performing at proms for money. It's bad. Don't worry, we'll handle it. At Rich Forever, you're one nosy goof.
Oh, it's such a beautiful day. Me waking up from a nap, I just realized BBL Drizzy called his mommy on me. He shared their text messages between each other. Cupcake Drake, tell your mama you stayed out past your curfew, white boy.
Rick, you sandwiched in, which is on brand, because the vacant land is not yours, shared Drake on his story. The shit the Miami starter pack, you living in a content creator crib. Poking fun at Ross's waterfront mansion here that he purchased for a slight $35 million. As a content creator myself, I certainly wouldn't complain about living there. However, the drama was only in its early chapters.
Damn, white boy. Kendrick done bust you in the head before y'all even finished the publishing splits.
Claiming that Drake was done for, while at the same time continuing to bump his music in the background. Before then, this now ironic post about Air Drake.
And that old ass jet you got, they gave it to you free. That's a 1978. Be safe on that, Drizzy. Be safe on that plane. That old God is great. Y'all need to pray for Drake and tell him, parked that old ass plane. It's a 1978 cargo jet. People gave it to him free for promo. And I ain't hating, but be safe, man. If something was
They always be like, I ain't hating. And they be straight hating in the moment. Wow,
happened to
man.
you and I couldn't tell you this, be safe. And anybody getting on it, be safe, man. Wear your seatbelts and make sure the oxygen thing's in there, because that shit was just for luggage.
Advising Drake to be safe on his plane, only days later, then arrived this news. Rick Ross's jet makes a crash landing in Dallas. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but with these pictures as proof, as we can see, Champagne Papi made sure to drop a like. But according to Rose, Drake's fighter jet shot us down, he typed.
So, thank you everybody for all the prayers, but I'm gonna tell you, we on the jet and I'm seeing the fighter jet. I see his nose, it's like Tom Cruise from Top Gun. I seen his nose, I'm seeing him in the cockpit. And I'm like, damn. I see his cheeks and nose going back from the G-force. I'm like, damn. And then, hey man, it happened. You know what I'm saying? I can't say what happened, but it happened.
Hey, you know something for real though? I know I keep stopping it, but yo, it's funny to me that one thing Rick Ross probably could have been was a comedian. For real. Like he should have let T.I. should have chilled out and let Rick Ross take the front, because I ain't gonna lie, when he be trolling, he be kind of funny, man. He said he seen a fighter jet and seen Drake nose. Let's get back into it, man. This is wild.
Come on, white boy. But we safe, everybody.
Trying to joke everything off and again bring up Drake's nose, but unfortunately, the L's just kept piling up for Rick Ross. In July of 2024, Rick Ross performed at the Ignite Music Festival in Vancouver, Canada, and to close out his set for the night, Rose had his DJ blast Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us diss track on Drake's home turf. And it wasn't long until this decision totally backfired.
That shit was so soft. I mean, they did jump him, don't get me wrong, man, but that was so Canadian. You see that dude over there? He was kicking him, man. Them was the softest kicks ever. But still, though, man, Rick Ross, man, you just been taking L after L. But only rightfully so, though, because you got a whole nother man's name, likeness, his image, and everything. Wow.
Punch in the face and then letting his weak security squabble while Not Like Us blares over the speakers. However, these Canadians weren't quite finished.
Hey, I'm hustling every day. What's up? You gonna press us out in our f***ing city, nigga? What's up? Speak me again. Back up, nigga. What's up? Come on, what's up? Why do you want me right now? Come on, nigga. What's up? Go, yo. Chill. What's up, dog? Baby. Come on. Let me hold Somebody get into the car, bro.
The clip tallied up millions of views and ended with one of Ross's associates knocked unconscious. And as we can see, again, one of those satisfied viewers was Champagne Papi. My guess is he won't be going back.
Drake was all Drake was liking everything, man. These dudes, man, they all be trolling each other in some kind of weird way, man. But it'd be funny to me, for real. Like, dang, man. Rick Ross just Yeah, you taking a lot of L's, bro. Rich or not, man. You should just take your money and go chill out somewhere for a little while, bro. For
to
real.
Canada chimed in 50 Cent after the attack, showing this video of Tia Kemp laughing.
These fat ass ain't throwing no blows. Man, Will, they swung on your fat ass. You ain't done. You stood your fat ass back, man. Your scary ass. Your big fat scary ass stood back looking good down from this angle.
He shouldn't have been there. That's it. The security tell me he shouldn't have been there. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing about what was on that video say Rick Ross should have been here doing this right now.
Only 4 days after the physical events took place in Canada, though, as Drake's first solo single following the beef came What Did I Miss? And RIP one of the producers, Tay Keith, by the way. But unless you really decipher the lyrics, you might have missed at this particular bar, firing another clever diss at his old collaborator, Rick Ross, like my friends over at NFR Podcast explain it.
So he raps, you get punched in the face on some TLC shit, and TLC has 3 different meanings here, so pay attention. TLC, like the wrestling event where guys are obviously getting punched and they're fighting, you gonna need a chili ice pack for your left eye. So TLC this time is referring to the iconic R&B group, 2 members from this group whose names are Chili and Left Eye. And what's also crazy, the third meaning of TLC, tender, love, and care. And the backstory behind all of this, Drake is rapping about an event that took place when Rick Ross got pressed after playing Not Like Us, and he just so happened to get punched on the left side of his face.
For an artist like Rick Ross, who had spent basically 20 years building this untouchable boss image, for fans to now watch him suddenly turn into all the butt of these jokes was causing more damage than he could have imagined. Yet, as more sneak disses continue to be thrown back and forth...
I've never seen someone ice rosé, but...
You've never seen someone ice rosé? Well, talk to every jeweler in Miami that has fake diamonds.
Really, they do that?
Nobody got that joke.
It's an AP that I'm rocking. This is green stones, green emeralds. It's just me having fun. That's all it is.
I am fuming. That's a fake watch. That's not a real watch.
How can you tell?
That watch was only produced twice, one in 37mm, one in 41mm. And I know both owners, and they're not Rick Ross.
These past 2 years, Ross's reputation has been destroyed by the same exact person who once made it untouchable. However, with his image now cracked beyond repair, 2026 is when the entire Rick Ross illusion finally fell apart. 1 week prior to getting dissed on the biggest rap album of the year, Ricky Ross kicked off 2026 by doing this.
Look, I want to do ASMR music minus Drake vocals. So no Drake vocals.
What made you decide to tell the DJ not to play Drake's vocals on Aston Martin music?
Let's enjoy it without them. If they want it, let them sing it, and that's cool too. But yeah, my DJ minus that. Let's go.
Skipping Drake's verse on one of his most popular songs, while the entire industry still waited though to hear how Drake would respond on his own album, in May of 2026 that moment finally arrived, and included on Iceman, one of his 3 albums released. Specifically on track 7, Make Them Pay, is when the names start dropping, and along with words for those who switched up, including LeBron. Then was this bar in Drake's nearly 5-minute verse.
Dog, I was Aiden Ross with Stream, Aiden Ross at ever stream.
Acknowledging how he has really been aiding Rick Ross with streams for years. Again, you can see this simply by looking at his top songs. But if you've learned anything so far about Rick Ross, of course he wasn't about to stay silent.
RIP to the Drake stands. Can only imagine what that feels like. Well, I really couldn't. But, damn, niggas say 3 albums are trash albums, 2 years too late. Hey man, it was fun while it lasted. You're washed. Where's Iceman?
To be honest with you, with the music industry and the way the music industry is these days, most artists are washed at this point. Like, you know, the only ones that's probably doing numbers are your Drakes and your Kendricks and stuff like that. But those up under, feel sorry for you, boy. We living in a whole different age of music and how it's streamed and everything. So
there's Iceman, the throat goats.
You're not putting Drake at your level.
No, see, you might be, I could see it in your eyes, you might be confused. If Drake was what he thought, he would have been able to clear all this shit up, address it, and been moved on. I listened to some of it. My engineer was horrendous. They lost an hour of their life for this shit.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
Are they recovering?
Yeah, trauma.
It's tough.
It is.
It's tough.
Funny thing to say when you owe your entire career to Drake, the top comment jokes. It's even funnier too when we remember that Rick Ross's last album went triple copper, and meanwhile Drake just broke Billboard history with his. However, to crumble Ross's reputation even worse, in the midst of all this, Rick Ross was selling tickets for his Port of Miami 20th anniversary tour. Well, I say selling, but with all of these countless open blue seats, very few fans were actually buying tickets. $122 for nosebleeds was their first problem, but regardless, no price point is going to hide the obvious lack of demand to see Rick Ross in 2026. In an effort to get more people in the door, it went on to announce a buy one get one 50% off deal that's once more liked by Drake. I'm sure you got a good laugh out of this news. But then, out of nowhere, Ross found himself right back in negative headlines. 1 month removed from the release of Iceman, platinum rapper Rick Ross was spotted right here in the airport boarding a commercial flight, which is odd for multiple reasons though. First, it's pretty well known that Rick Ross used to own his own private jet, painting his name across in huge font so you can't miss it. Yet, after those pictures in the airport went viral, fans were left with so many questions.
For the ones who want to know where my jet at, I obviously didn't get the memo. It's being updated with Starlink. That's the $500,000 Wi-Fi. And since it's a big deal for Rose to fly commercial sometimes, I might have to buy me a wing at the Atlanta airport.
However, to support internet theories further, according to official flight logs, Rick Ross's private jet has not flown in over 4 weeks, leading many to believe that he sold it.
You're only flying private, huh?
I told myself I would not charter a jet until I was ready to buy it. But I told myself, and I waited those 20 plus years.
Right.
And when it was time for me, it was an investment.
It looks like Rick Ross is going broke, okay? And he's now in damage control trying to clean things up, but it's too late. We've already seen how the boss is really getting down.
It's also on the internet, Rick Ross is currently going viral because he was caught hiding while waiting for a commercial flight. And this is so wild framing because you could never catch me hiding while waiting for a commercial flight. You just saw me at the airport.
2 days after he was spotted in the airport, Drake would seize his chance to film a new music video here parked in front of his private jet in Turks and Caicos. In a beef this petty, timing is everything, and as the professional troll that he is, Drake understands exactly what this does to Ross's image. And whether he's truly getting Wi-Fi installed or not, his long-standing illusion has finally been crushed. As his first solo album in over 5 years, Rick Ross's Set in Stone was supposed to already be out. Terrible AI-looking cover art aside, apparently its release date wasn't set in stone, seeing as his album is now delayed a month. Iceman melted, stone last an eternity, Ross.
Who really wants to hear a Rick Ross album in 2026? Leave it down in the comment section. He do make some good music though. I ain't gonna front on him. It's just the clown antics, you know, is overshadowing the legacy that you have left, especially like staying into it with 50 and all this other stuff. It's like, it just makes you look more cornier than the cool image guy that I think you're portraying. You know, you guys agree with it? Leave it in the comment section. Let's get back into it.
However, in reality, as one comment puts it, Ross did not want to get embarrassed when Drake's month-old album still outsold him. With honestly still a chance he might debut behind Iceman, at this point there's no trying to argue that hype for Rick Ross has never been lower. But does that really mean that he is broke?
Ross, a quick Google search says that your net worth is $150 million. Is that accurate?
They said it, duh!
Despite all of the viral memes and jokes, Rick Ross has been a businessman since day one. So whether it's his countless Wingstop locations, real estate properties, etc., Ross has honestly touched more money than most rappers ever will. However, as soon as people stop believing in your character though, not even millions of dollars can buy it back.
See, for me, it's not really the point of the money for me. It's the saying that you can have millions of dollars and still be a clown is what it's saying for me. And I feel like Rick Ross falls into that. You know, he don't let the music speak for him. He tries to speak for himself. And the speaking that he's doing, in my opinion, just clown behavior. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think about this whole situation? Is Rick Ross justified? I don't feel like he personally is, because of the fact that, yo, you got somebody else's whole likeness, name, everything, and actually trying to clown the guy instead of giving homage to what's obvious. You feel what I'm saying? It's obvious that you are not who you act like you are. You just ended up getting the money, and the money complemented the falsehood, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you wasn't a millionaire coming into the game. We all know that, bro. We know it. If we go back and do more research, back in the Trina slip and slide days, you was broke, bro. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, what do you guys feel like this? You feel like Rick Ross' reign is over, or has it been over? Leave it down in the comment section. Let's talk about it. It's your boy Chaotic One. This is the Cam HB TV YouTube channel, home of reactions and more. If you rock out with us, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted when we drop these videos, and also make sure that you like, share, and comment on this one right here. Helps the algorithm push us out. Until the next video, I'm a holla. Peace.